Hello everyone and welcome back once again to Stuff I Do, because I'm still doing stuff that I do. Yeah, you know where I'm going. So today I thought we'd revisit part of a Proton pack build. Not the one we've seen before, because I've got to build myself another one. You'll know as we go along. But there's things about this build and possibly future builds that I wanted to share with you. So we're doing that today. Hi again, so here we are once again on another Proton pack build. Now, as I said in one of my previous videos, the first Proton pack I built was actually spoken for. So I still don't have one. So I've got to make myself another one. So here we are. I'm not going to show you the build process from start to finish because it's exactly the same as the build process from the first video. But there were a few things I wanted to share with you, which I didn't share, which I didn't do on my first build. So I'm going to share that with you now. So there are certain parts of the build still missing. There's a piece that goes in here. I forget the names. Ghostbusters people know what that is. Also, there's a section that goes in here. There's bits all over the pack really, but some pieces that go in here on top of the bumper. Need to be explained, I feel. So we're going to do that in this particular video. Right, so during the build of the first Proton pack, a lot of CAD design had to be done. So obviously a lot of parts were 3D printed. Now for those of you who don't know, 3D printing takes a long time, even for what seems to be the smallest parts. So I'm going to go through some of those today and what I intend to do for the future. So let's get ready, let's get started. Okay then. What I thought I'd do is I'd share with you some of the parts that I use, that are used on the Proton pack build. I'll start with what they call the HGA, which is the part that goes in the top. As you're looking at it from the front on, top right hand corner. Now what I use, and I know it's not screen accurate, you can use these Pringles canisters or the like the Bisto gravy granules ones. They're a little bit larger than they should be, but I say we're not going for screen accuracy. So what I do is I cut these down to length, but what you need on the end is the part where it has the bolts and the red circular instruction parts. And this is the 3D print of said part. So that's the top section, and of course I would glue that on there like that, and that will paint that all up, and that's your part. Looks fabulous. Now this part itself, 3D printing wise, believe it or not, takes about 2 hours. So there's a lot of time incorporated into these things. So 2 hours. So I'm not going to give you a running total of the times. Now that's that part. So what I decided to do was take a mould of said items that we are about to show you and share with you, and I'll show you what they look like and how they came out. Okay, this was the mould I made of this part. Silicone rubber, just put it inside a pot and made that, and obviously that gave me the mould I needed for this part, and the mould itself produced this. So an almost exact replica of the 3D printed part, but obviously this is polyurethane resin, and to produce this takes roughly about an hour. So a big saving on time there. So obviously future packs, I can put them together a lot quicker than I have been doing. So that's that one. Is out of the way. Okay then, so there's some of the longer prints that we need to do, and it was taking a long time to do. As you see behind me, there's a Proton pack with a list of all the named parts, which I can't remember, so that's here to help me. You can see that's fine, you zoom in on that, have a look at that, it's fine. I'll just show you some other parts which are 3D printed, some of which I will just 3D print because they don't take too long, and some of them I might think about moulding, so I'll just show you those and we'll move on from there. Okay, the next part is this fella here. I believe it's called the PPD. Again, nice little piece. Assuming it doesn't get knocked off your print bed. Again, 2.5 to, I think it was 3 hours on this one. So once again, a mould is made. I'm not going to bore you and show you what every mould looks like. The first one I made, I manhandled it a little before I took it out, before I let it cool properly, so I put some little fingerprints in it, which is a bit silly. Hey ho, lesson learned, that's basically what we're looking at. So future pulls will actually just be replicas of this, and there's some more weight to these because it's solid resin, so again more hardy than the original 3D printed part. Okay, next up is the what they call the shock mount, which is that fella there. And that's what mounts on the bumper, which goes over the actual cyclotron itself. So again, nice ribbed piece. These are usually made out of aluminium. Again, I think 2.5 hours for that. That's what you need. So once again, long print, need one for every Proton pack. So a mould was made as before. And there's our moulded copy. Again, solid resin. Again, sturdier. Heavier, and again about an hour, just waiting for resin to dry up when set, should I say, not dry, before we can use them. So again, massive time saving there. Now here's a part, crikey, you need 2 of. So these are 4.5 hours each to 3D print. This one had a little accident with. Well, I didn't have an accident, it ran out of filament, and the run out of filament warning facility on my printer didn't work, so it just carried on and printed nothing. So I had to print the second part separately and attach the two together. Again, there's some filler in there to hide the join line. Once again, mould was made, and here's the duplicate copy. Very little tidy up, it's a little overfill there, I just need to sand that off. It takes again about an hour or so, 10 or 15 minutes perhaps clean up time, and I can produce those so quickly. So I can produce 4 of these, which is the 4 I need for 2 packs. I need 2, as it will take to print 1 of those, and of course much better weight, adds a lot more realism to the neutrino wand itself, and it feels better to grip as well. Okay, here's some other parts. These are the ribbon clamps. I'm not going to bore you silly with every single print time because it's really not necessary. These don't take long at all. These are about 20 minutes. So we've still got 40 minutes there because you need 2. One for top and one for bottom. One for top and bottom. One for top and one for the bottom that you need. There are obviously some items that you need to print, or I could take a mould of these. Again, they don't take long. These are probably about 15 minutes, assuming that you don't have any errors. They just go on the side of the iron arm. These you don't have to print. I print these are just the bases that I attach to using more of a print, a gluing area for the vertical posts that go up. Just below the PDP and the power cell section. These I created myself. These are the bulb holders that go in the back of the cyclotron itself. So again, I've just painted that red because I'm going to put some reflective material in there, probably some silver foil, and I've got some red acrylic that goes over the top, and of course there's a hole for a 5mm LED bulb. So you need 4 of those. Again, don't take long to print those. I think it's about 35 minutes for the 4. You don't see them anyway, they're just tucked on the inside of the cyclotron. That's that. This section here, with the 2 holes in the side, this is the basically the power comes out of the power cell at the base, and they go onto the side of the cyclotron, and then the 2 wires go in just there. Again, not a big item, about 35 minutes or so to print that. Again, it would look nice if it was solid, so you could take a mold of it, be a bit more sturdy, but again it doesn't take a lot of knocks and bangs, so I'm not decided on that one yet. And of course, important visual part is the control knob. There's a bit of silicone on it. Oh well. Again, this goes on the top of the crank generator, right at the top in the centre of the proton pack itself. I may take a mould of this purely because I'd like a resin one, but again it still looks quite nice. Once you've painted it up and weathered it, it looks great. But again, I think it was about 35 minutes for that because of all the detail. It looks nice. Again, something else I'm going to have to consider. And finally, if you can't buy them, you have to print them. These super parts which attach to the proton pack, and of course the neutrino wand. So that's what attaches the wand to the pack itself. Again, 3D printed. I personally print these separately because I find it works better for me, basically. They take together about 2 hours, depending on the layer level and the quality you want to print. I could take a mould of these. I don't know how strong they would be in resin. Again, something I need to think about. But that's all the main parts I would print. There are a couple of other bits and bobs I would print, but nothing major or something they can't use something else to make them out of, as it were. So there you are. There's some of the parts that are needed for a proton pack. Lots more parts, obviously, but I find that they take longer to make than a lot of the other parts, and some major parts of the proton pack. Hopefully that's going to speed things up a bit for me, and of course the quality is better, the weight is better, although a lot of people would say weight is not a good thing. It just feels more substantial in my opinion. So just an update for you to let you know I'm still alive, hi! And I'm actually still doing things. You've got to get on, haven't you? I do appreciate your patience. I know I always say that, but I really do. As I said before, I wouldn't do it if you guys weren't watching, because it just wouldn't be worth it. But I enjoy doing it, and I hope you enjoy watching me do it. And I hope you learned something. So if you learned something, then we've achieved something. That's good. Good reason for doing it. Leave a note in the comments if you want to tell me anything, if you want to share any information, share any photographs of proton packs that you may have made, or parts you may have manufactured, or things you're using as replacements. Because again, on the actual free base here, you can use a Pringles tube. I know it's not accurate. I think the original 60mm and they're about 75, so you have to compensate with that. I know it's not screen accurate, but unless people are going around with digital calipers or a tape measure, nobody's going to know. Especially this all matte black. It looks good, and you get your proton back. So again, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share the video. That'd be nice, because I'll get notification if you've done that. Thank you very much. I'll see you again soon. Take care.